but they are open for business trading in this draft. How do you feel about that?
I understand it. I understand the idea of getting as many picks as you can, and even a player or something like that, a veteran player with the draft pick. Man, if they do all this maneuvering, trade all these draft picks, and to come out with something other than one of those top quarterbacks, I'd be so hurt.
Right.
But I understand the mindset behind it and why you would do it. But if man, that'd be a tough one for me to swallow as a Patriots fan. But I understand. I understand why they would do it. Now, if you can trade back to, like you mentioned, you're still in the top 10 or whatever, and now instead of Daniels and May, you end up with Michael Penix, I'll be extremely happy then. But if you get something outside of that, I don't care how many picks you get after that, I'll still be upset.
Trade down to 34 all you want. I think that's a great move. I agree with the idea behind it. They have a lot of needs. They're a draft and develop team. The more picks, the better. But at a certain point, you're getting worse players, and there's certain positions you can't afford to do that at. And quarterback is chief among them. We'll take a lesser quarterback in order to get more, day two picks that guys could be rotational players. No.
Yeah.
You take the bet, whoever they think that is, May, Daniels, McCarthy, Penix, whoever they think the best quarterback is. And if it's, we think all four are the same, they're not, then I would say that the evaluation's incorrect. They're not all the, and that's just the nature of, it's so rare that prospects are on equal footing like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I'm sorry.
I trade down at 34 all you want. I have no problem with adding picks. Can't do it at 3.
Yeah. You keep that pick, and whatever happens after that is fair game. You gotta take that quarterback. I mean, I think it's in an old NFL, yeah, I get that. But in this NFL, this modern NFL, it's too built around the quarterback. Everything is dependent on the quarterback. And it's the fastest way to accelerate your wins, get more wins on the board and look like a dominant team. You got to get the quarterback. And like you said, getting a lesser quarterback has never worked. I don't think it's ever worked. The 49ers have been getting lesser quarterbacks over and over again. We mentioned it yesterday. And we're like, that, how come they just can't get over the hump? Because they keep getting these average quarterbacks. I mean, they get good numbers with the great players around them, but they trade half that team away for an elite quarterback, and they'd have several rings. And it's too important for them to pass up. I understand he's saying it. He doesn't want to just say, nope, we're taking the quarterback at 3, even though he just should just go ahead and say it. But, I mean, in the whole moving up thing, is anybody ahead of them really going to give up that pick? Because they want that quarterback, too, and they understand the importance of it.
The other thing Wolf said kind of along those lines that was interesting was he doesn't feel as though the Patriots' top pick, whatever it is, 3, 6, 11, wherever they end up picking, he doesn't feel that the top pick needs to be a quarterback. Now, after that, he basically said, everything he said kind of sounded like somebody who plans on taking a quarterback. The next question was, would you be comfortable taking a quarterback with that top pick? And he said he would. I think that's just posturing.
Yeah.
But there's been this theme throughout the offseason, Wolf, Mayo, whoever's talked, that everything's on the table. They're not closing any doors. They'll consider whatever. And it feels like that's continuing here right down to the final week.
I mean, maybe he's talking in terms of someone gives them an offer they can't refuse, like an incredible haul,
right?
For that top pick, like something that if the public found out what they turned down would lose their minds. Like maybe that's what he's saying. Oh yeah, everything is on the table. I mean, but it has a massive price tag. Maybe that's the way they're looking at it, but I just feel that the quarterback position is so important, not to you, but to the league, that you could see I believe this is going to happen. I believed it for a while, that all the quarterbacks I think are going to get swooped up so fast. And if you think you're going to get one later, you're going to be down to guys we were looking at as second, third round pick type talent. And I think everybody in the league is so desperate for these quarterbacks that I think they're all going to get snatched up. So if you're like, we'll get one at 34, we'll get one we'll trade and get one in the 20s or whatever. I think they're all going to be gone. I just have a feeling that there's going to be an incredible run on quarterbacks. Even for teams that have starting quarterbacks now, are still going to take one of these kids early. I just think you have to get one. If not, you're going to be left out there with Bailey Zappi starting come September.
Yeah,
I just think it's a bad spot.
I'm
Don't
with
play
you.
with
And
it.
I that's kind of how I read that too. Is like if he says yes, the first pick has to be a quarterback, and then they get offered 5 first-round picks to move down, right?
Yeah.
And now they can't take a quarterback first. Everybody's going to call him out for that. But everything he said after, to me, after he said no, the top pick doesn't need to be a quarterback, made me feel like, all right, like it doesn't need to be, but
It will be.
probably will be, right? That kind of thing. Some other interesting notes just in the way he talked about quarterbacks, at least to me, and I kind of wrote a recap of everything Wolf said about the big 3 positions. Obviously, quarterback, tackle, receiver, and you can check that out on 985thesportshub.com. But a few things that stood out to me about the quarterback position, he did say they don't consider age a factor one way or the other. And obviously, there's a wide range of quarterback ages in this draft. J.J. McCarthy just turned 21. Michael Penix will turn 24 right after the draft. So that doesn't matter. They're going off individual situations. That's notable. So if you were wondering, will Jaden Daniels' age spook them? And it's more likely older guys you take off the board than younger guys. Will Jaden Daniels' age spook them? Will Michael Penix's age spook them? Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I think they're looking at it, not self-preservation, but hey, we need one of these kids to hit earlier. We're not going to be working at all, so it doesn't matter if that couple years is not going to kill us now. It's something we worry about when the kid's in his 30s, late 30s, mid 30s, or whatever, and if his body starts breaking down or something like that. But I think in some cases, some guys see it as a positive. Okay, he's kind of a veteran coming in. He's a little older. It's a grown man coming into the locker room now as opposed to a really young kid. Maybe the mindset might be a little different. So I think they're cool either way, as long as the kid can play and is a good locker room guy. But, it's I don't think that was going to be a concern. I mean, it gets brought up a lot with like Bo Nix with his age. I think he's the oldest guy in the draft, oldest player in the draft.
He's up there.
Yeah, him and with Hartman. Hartman can't be too far behind either. He played
Among quarterbacks, I
so
think there's like a lineman who's like 26.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
Hartman played at Wake Forest for a while before he went to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But it just I don't think it's going to be a major factor for them. And I think they're just trying to get the best player they can out of that when it comes to the quarterbacks. So I never thought the age would be a major factor for them. And look, I mean, yeah, Penix, his age and then his knees, I understand that part of it, but he's not like the kid's 30 years old or something like that. So I think they'll be more than fine with that.
Yeah, according to EstablishTheRun.com, there's a few prospects who are already 26, but they're like
Really?
lower level guys. Wide receiver from Utah, tight end from Pittsburgh State, not Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh State. That's in Kansas. Couple older guys. You're getting the last here, and I think there'll be a few next year, but for the most part, you're getting the last of those guys that got the extra COVID year. So,
I forgot about that part. Yeah,
yeah. So there are a few of those like true older prospects left. The one other interesting quarterback note from Eliot Wolf was he was very effusive in saying, and he was asked this directly, can the Patriots support a rookie quarterback? And yes, he was multiple times was very emphatic about that point. One direct quote here: "We're going to have the support that's needed for that quarterback if we draft one, whoever it is. We're going to have a situation where they're supported in every way possible to make them succeed." And this is after we've heard Gerard Mayo talk about the support staff, even at the coaching level for a young quarterback. Wolf said they feel like they have the roster for it. They are not afraid of that. They're not ready for a quarterback idea. And whether that means sitting him, whether that means future picks, because you're allowed to factor in future picks. And when I say future, I mean the rest of this draft.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they know they're going to take a tackle in the second round, and they're very confident they're going to get a starting caliber tackle. All right, well, that helps you get the roster ready. So they feel like they can handle a rookie quarterback right now.
So that whole is sitting for the year, we can throw that out the window for the most part.
Well, and I mean,
Kinda.
maybe he means that as a part of supporting the rookie. Like that, he didn't specifically say how, other than we're going to have a support staff. But I would say that lessens the idea of that. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it can be a situation. How many games was it before Mac Jones was thrown out there? A couple.
No, he started week 1.
He started. Okay, he did.
Remember, because they cut Cam Newton.
They cut Cam. Right. That's it. And I mean, it's. I think you should play him. I've never was the one to say sit him for a year. I think you should play your rookie quarterbacks. I mean, you got to throw them out there anyway. And who's to say next year your team is going to be loaded enough to where you can take care of them? But I think in this situation, new head coach, new GM, kind of new situation. I think the pressure from ownership and the fans and everybody else would be to play him. And I think they've all come to the conclusion that, okay, we're going to have to play this kid. So, yeah, we're going to have the support in place for him. We're going to do our best to try and take care of this kid, whoever it is, and get him out there. I think there's just too much pressure to sit him. And the fans would be screaming for him the minute Brissett or somebody throws an interception and goes 3 and out 3 times. Right. It's too much pressure here for that.